Hi there. So today I would like to talk about picking your battles. I get online and I see, especially right now, it's so much divide and conquer. The people are so polarized and everyone's fighting, and many of the things that people fight about are very trivial. And we need to learn how to pick our battles. We need to better direct our energy. We need to inject positivity. Like I said yesterday, I haven't been making as many YouTube videos because I've been trying to really learn how to do the tarot. And I like to uplift people with tarot, but then like I keep getting these, I'm like pulling the devil card every spread. And but it's just right now, there is a fear in the air. There's clearly big change coming. I mean, almost everyone that I'm pulling cards on is getting big changes coming. And we'll see. But I mean, we do need to keep our focus on the most positive outcome possible. But right now, I want to talk about how to pick your battles. There are interests, liberties, and ideals worth fighting for. Some of these are even worth dying for. And there are situations that we need to walk away from. The real skill is not knowing how to fight. The real skill is knowing which fights to have and which ones to walk away from. Many moments in life can unexpectedly turn into an argument, and many of these moments should have never been an argument to begin with. On the flip side, one may not have the energy or the confidence to stand up for himself when it desperately matters. If you fight too much or too little, you likely have a problem with picking your battles. Here are a few things that I've learned when it comes to choosing your battles. This helps one get what he wants when it actually matters. Or these things can help. Everyone feels anger. Whether or not you act on the anger depends on several factors. Self-confidence and forethought play a large role in if an individual feels comfortable engaging in a conflict or not. Sometimes our anger gets the best of us and we argue without thinking about the situation first. Sometimes we don't feel adequate enough to argue effectively. One needs to figure out where he will find his line between letting something go and engaging in conflict. Finding your bottom line when it comes to conflict means considering how others will react to your choices and how you feel about those reactions. One may examine his conflict style and find out that it is just fine the way that it is. If you find yourself fighting too many battles and upsetting a lot of people in the process, you may need to implement some behavioral changes. Keeping track of and analyzing one's recent conflicts, or lack of, can help an individual identify patterns and figure out what is problematic with his fighting style and what isn't. When you start to identify emerging behavioral patterns, it becomes much easier to make the necessary changes, and you will begin to feel better about the battles that you do engage in. When one is engaged in a conflict, all his senses are enhanced, but rational thinking is often missing. An individual needs to stop and think before engaging in confrontation. Answering these questions will help you determine if you should continue to fight or walk away. Is the cause worth fighting for? Does this issue matter? Does it matter now? Will it matter in a year? Is it a cause that will make the world a better place? Can you live with yourself if you don't fight this battle? Are you the best person to fight this battle? Is this really your battle? Are you qualified or informed enough to argue the topic? How important are you in this? What would happen if you stepped out? Would the whole conflict just end? Is it a conflict of egos? Sometimes battles become useless, lose-lose situations. These battles are not worth fighting and typically need to be stepped out of. Stepping out involves pushing the ego and pride aside. Emotional fighting, reasoning or logic fighting, and fighting out of fear are types of battles that often don't have a win-win resolution. Save your energy and learn how to pick your battles. Don't fight the wrong ones. The single worst occasion is when egos are fighting. Egos are programs that defend themselves by attacking others and can completely take over the human being. The ego is the selfish, fearful, entitled, closed-minded, know-it-all part of our personality. Ego appears to be a program in the consciousness, and some are affected by ego more than others. We all have an ego program installed in our psyche, but the question is just how much we allow it to control us. When two egos stand off, the battle will quickly get nasty and deeply personal. Ego battles can be difficult to end, and they seldom end well. They often end in a standoff or in the relationship. Are you doing the right thing? Conformity is doing what everyone else is doing, regardless of what is right or wrong. Morality is doing what is right, regardless of what everyone else is doing. Morality is what is serving the greater good, even if it is the unpopular choice. Integrity is doing what feels right for you. You're the one that has to be able to sleep at night after your actions. You have to live with your decisions and the consequences. There are always consequences to battle, whether you like it or not, and whether you recognize them or not. Many times consequences appear after the fact. Learning how to better pick your battles can minimize negative future consequences. If you surround yourself with people who have the same values and appreciate morality and integrity as much as you do, your chances of conflict will decrease. Surrounding yourself with people who have drastically different opinions and viewpoints than you do is asking for a fight. We do have to occasionally interact with people whom we disagree strongly. It is best to keep conversations with those people on shallow topics and as short as possible. Humanity is inherently good, not evil, as so much of the programming suggests. We must keep in mind that most people want to be righteous and they want to do what is right. We will never know the intentions of another person, no matter how hard we try. As much as one can empathize, we cannot ever fully understand another person's thought processes. Hurt people pick battles that they shouldn't, as they don't know how not to. They want others to comprehend their hurt, and so they try to hurt them. This is the incorrect approach, but that is also how the human psyche can work. We have to make a conscious effort to change many of these thought processes. We have this one incredibly short life to make our mark on the world. We need to consider very carefully what we spend our time and energy on. When we choose the wrong battles, we lose time and energy we will never get back. Where focus goes, energy flows. Please keep your focus on positive things. Consciously doing this will change your life in a marked way within 1 year. Our thoughts create our reality, and as I look around today, it is obvious that the thoughts of humanity are mainly negative. We must collectively change the way that we think in order to change our world. Okay, I'm almost done here. Here are a few tips on how to pick your battles. Evaluate the problem. A huge percent of the situations that disrupt our daily lives are small, petty issues with little to no impact on the long run. This includes interactions with toxic people and people that try to bring you down. When faced with a problem, ask yourself, do I need to deal with it? Is this problem really important? Can my time be better spent elsewhere? Weigh the pros and cons and the potential outcomes. Does the cost outweigh the benefits? If the answer is yes, it's generally better to let go and move on. What are the odds of success? If the odds of success are very low, it's maybe better to just move on as well. Does that mean that we should avoid all battles if there is little to no chance of success? No. Sometimes you want to pick a battle to make a statement, to stand up for a principle, or for moral reasons. In cases of workplace harassment, medical negligence, or bullying, you probably should raise the issue and let others know about the problem. We must expose the evils in this world in order to address them and fix them. We cannot continuously brush evil under the rug in hopes that it will go away. I've missed this. Sorry, I'm going to type. That is how some of society's issues have gotten so big and out of control today. The payoff of doing battle often isn't monetary. Your win can be a moral one, like protecting our civil liberties or preventing further recurrence of certain issues. Every situation is different, so weigh the costs and benefits before deciding what to do. can have an open discussion. An important part of a win-win battle is the ability to have an open discussion. This involves knowing how to respect that the other person has views and goals that may be different from ours. One must listen to comprehend instead of listening to rebut. It is perfectly fine to have different views than someone else. Someone sharing their views with you does not mean that they are asking you to think those things too. I have noted that society has a big problem with thinking this. They think that just sharing your experience is pushing it on you, and that's not the case at all. I never expect someone to think what I do. I just hope that they investigate what I talk about. To achieve a win-win, you must hear the other person out and discuss the best outcome for both of you. Many times we have not vocalized our needs. No, sorry. To the others in our life. Asking for help can be difficult, but it is a necessary skill to learn. We are human and can only do so much as one person. Humans are meant to be a tribal species, not this every man for himself stuff. Most people enjoy helping others. It is perfectly okay to ask for help with taking care of your children, cleaning, or working on your home, running errands, etc., especially if you are ill, working, or have a valid reason for asking for help. I'm not advocating taking advantage of people, but on the other end of the spectrum, don't be so proud that you won't ask someone for help. Many people would be willing to help if they knew that you needed it. What is this? Okay. And some ways to have an open conversation are: seek to comprehend the other person's perspective. Everyone has different views, and you should attempt to understand what their views are the best you can. Imagine yourself in their shoes and try to envision what they're saying. Don't dismiss their opinions simply because they're different from yours. Try to understand why the person would think and feel this way. Share your views. Let the person have a chance to share theirs. Ensure that each of you has an equal chance to share your views, to ask questions, and to understand each other. Listen to comprehend what they're saying. Take notes of items to go back to later. The most important task is to listen fully. Be supportive as the other person is sharing. Try not to interrupt, take notes to discuss, and take a moment to think of a thoughtful reply. If you find what they've said offensive or don't know what to say, you can try something like, "Wow, I've never thought of that before. That's going to take me a minute to process." You can usually find something in what they've said to discuss that won't cause conflict, and you can focus on that. Discuss possible solutions. Make it clear that you care about the other person and that you want to create a win-win situation. Make it clear you'd be willing to compromise if that's applicable. Work together to think of mutual solutions based on both of your needs. Control your reaction. Once you decide to engage in a battle, set the intention that this fight will result in your highest and greatest outcome, for you and for your opponent. You should never wish ill will on another person. When in a heated battle, it can be hard to remain in your typical state of consciousness. Emotions often run high, and you may say things you don't mean. Unaired grievances may come out suddenly. You may feel like attacking the other person, even though that's not the goal. You may want to abandon the battle if the person is not cooperative. If you feel that you are losing your cool, stop talking to compose yourself. I find that breaking eye contact and looking at the ground while taking several breaths helps me to get back in the present moment. Practicing a 1 to 2 second pause between replies can help you better do battle. It gives you a little bit more time to think of what to say next. Have an exit point. We can't spend forever fighting a battle that is not progressing or at a standoff with no results. When a battle ends up like this, after our best efforts, it's time to walk away. You need a point of time to cut my losses and move on. This is the point where you exit the battle because you have hit the maximum loss you're willing to take in this fight. You will no longer invest any more time or energy into this situation. Where there are people, there will be conflict. Where there are words, there will be misunderstandings. Where there are opinions, there will be debates. We are human and we are different. It is natural to differ, disagree, and even fight. Learning how and when to fight is an important skill. Too much conflict can make your life hard, and not enough standing up for yourself can also make your life difficult. Finding a proper balance is key. There are situations you can't avoid, unexpected battles to fight, and civil liberties to defend. There are also plenty of moments when you need to recognize it's time to cut your losses and walk away. You need to learn to silence your ego in order to pick your battles. You need to protect your present and future mental health by letting go of your past and compromising with your present if it's not ideal. The point of choosing your battles is to be strategic in how you spend the very limited resource called time. It is also important not to waste your energy on unnecessary fighting. We shouldn't put out negativity into the world unless for a worthy, moral cause. Fighting every battle means taking time and energy away from the things and people that truly matter in your life. By choosing to pick your battle versus fighting every battle you are already ahead in the game called life. Thank you. Have a good day.